Hello and welcome. We're back with another episode. It's been a couple of months since I last recorded, so I'm joined by Rob,
Hello.
and today we're going to be discussing a topic called the Hexham Heads. Now, do you know about the Hexham Heads?
I have heard of them, but I think I'm remembering them wrong. You see, I thought they were shriveled up heads of some sort from some sort of a curse, but this is from reading a book as a child, so I really don't remember them now. I remember it used to scare the crap out of me, though.
Well, they are small heads. So the Hexham Heads are actually a pair of small stone heads. So they weren't actual physical shriveled heads, they were stone carved heads.
Right, okay.
They're about 6 centimetres high, so about the size of an orange.
Mm-hmm.
They were found in 1971 in Hexham, which is where they get the name Hexham Heads.
And whereabouts is Hexham?
It's Northumberland, so it's nearish to Newcastle.
Right, so we're talking about English.
We're in England, yeah, definitely in England, yeah. So we're back home, not in Yorkshire, but we're back home in England. We're not around the world in all these weird other places. Which I have another episode written, which does go around the world.
Yeah.
But not very far around the world.
What? Wales.
No, it gets over to one side of the world and pretty much stays there.
Right, fair dues.
So the heads became associated with the alleged paranormal activity and phenomena. However, their exact origins were a point of controversy. So, a bit about the heads. So the heads were originally dug up by two boys, Colin and Leslie Robson, who found them in the garden in 1971. So they were just out playing, digging in the garden like you do, which we did many times.
Yep.
And found these two stone heads. So after the discovery, the Robson family reported strange phenomena, with the heads allegedly being moved around when nobody was in the room, and bottles being thrown across rooms. It doesn't say whether they were in the room when the bottles were thrown, or whether they were just found them smashed in other rooms or just on the floor. I mean, it doesn't say anything about smashed bottles either, so we don't know if these bottles actually broke.
Yeah, could have been plastic bottles.
Could have been plastic bottles, yeah, absolutely. So the Dodds family who lived next door, or the Dodd family who lived next door, also reported phenomena, with one of the boys' hairs being pulled. And in the night, the mother Nellie awoke to see a half-man, half-goat figure leaving the house. Now, I remember reading about this in a book when I was a kid, and the way I read it was that it walked across the landing, leaped over the banister, jumped down the stairs, and out the door.
I think I did that a few times as a kid.
Yeah, probably did,
Well, without getting out the door. They've been locked.
Yeah, leaping the banister. So after all the activity, they gave the heads to Anne Ross, who was an expert in Celtic artefacts.
Right.
Because they believed the heads were obviously Celtic. Being the region had I think this part of England was quite close to the border.
It's very northern, yeah.
It's very northern, yeah. So Celtic history.
Yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for. So the human head, according to Ross, was venerated as a symbol of divinity and the power of the other world. Basically the seat of the soul. So instead of the soul being in the body, it was in the head, according to the Celts.
Okay.
Other Celtic head figurines have also been found, which were often found near water, which held significance as well for the Celts.
And did they class these as Hexham Heads as well?
No, because they weren't found in Hexham.
Oh, okay.
These heads are only called Hexham Heads because they're found in Hexham.
The location gives them the name. Right, okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
Something new there?
So while storing the heads in her home, because that's what you do when you take hold of artefacts, you take them home with you.
Someone tells you they've got a cursed object, of course you're going to take it to your home where your family live and whatnot.
Now, Ross allegedly awoke one morning, early hours, and witnessed a half-man, half-wolf.
Right.
Leaving her home. So again, I imagine this leaping over across the landing, over the banister, and out the door.
Yeah. Did it take anything with it?
Nope, apparently not. No, it's just there to let them know, and jumping over the banister, and off it goes. And apparently, though, she followed it downstairs, and so heading towards the direction of the kitchen before losing sight of it. And after a few days, her daughter Bernice also witnessed the same.
I'm just picturing a
Creature.
half man, half goat and a half man, half wolf yelling parkour whilst rolling over banister.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that's a YouTube short.
Oh, yes.
So she just returned from school and saw the large, dark, wolf-like figure on the stairs that jumped over the banister and onto the corridor and vanished. I don't know if this one actually got out of the house or not, but it vanished. So the wolf was believed to have some relation to the Hexham wolf that had killed livestock in the winter of 1904. Why a wolf from 1904 had anything to do with Celtic mythology, I have no idea.
No. That would require research.
That would require research.
We don't have the energy for
We
it.
don't get paid for that.
Don't get paid at all.
No, we don't.
I just turn up and talk utter nonsense, me.
Absolutely. It kind of seems like a bit of a stretch to connect the two together.
Yeah.
It's like saying I saw a pig in a farm and it's connected to the spirit of the last boar that was in Bradford.
Yeah. The Bradford boa.
Yeah, it seems a bit of a stretch there. Now, Ross also reported feelings of a cold presence. Her study door burst open with no apparent cause. And another apparent sighting of a dark figure. Knowing of Nellie Dodd's experience, Ross equated all of these phenomena to the Hexham Heads. And the incident allegedly stopped when she removed the 2 Celtic heads in her possession out of the house.
Well, whilst you were reading, speaking.
While I was speaking and reading, I can multitask.
Yes, unlike me. I was you Googleizing the Celtic law for wolfmen or werewolves.
Well, I would imagine, obviously, like back in, like maybe not Celts themselves, but like Viking, obviously berserkers. I mean, in all fairness, Celts probably did it as well. War animal fur. That was my inkling of why a half man, half wolf might have been seen.
Yeah. I mean, there's loads of different stuff on it.
Yeah. Fire away.
Well, the first thing it's talking about in Celtic law, wolfmen or werewolves are often depicted as either permanently half man, half wolf creatures, sounding like this one, like the Wulver. I assume it's pronounced Wulver, Wulver, the Wulver of Shetland, or as individuals who can transform into wolves, usually at a full moon. These beings are often associated with Celtic regions like Ireland and Scotland, and the Wulver being a prominent figure in Shetland folklore.
Okay. Interesting.
So it does go on to have a bit more about the Wulver, and then werewolves of Ossory in Ireland, and then I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but Faolad, Faoladh in Ireland as well. The Wulver Shetland is a figure in Shetland folklore depicted as a creature with a wolf's head and a man's body covered in brown fur. They are often described as benevolent, sharing fish with humans.
Oh, that's nice of them. I don't like fish.
Though some accounts suggest they can be violent if provoked. Unlike other werewolves who transform, Wulver is permanently in the half-man, half-wolf state.
Right, okay.
The werewolves of Ossory. In Irish law, particularly the Kingdom of Ossory, there were legends of werewolves who were descendants of a legendary figure named, I'm going to guess, Lennox Faolad. Just Google werewolves of Ossory if you want to read it properly and see it. Ancestor of the kings of Ossory. These legends may have originated from warrior traditions where soldiers were compared to wolves and may have adopted lupine appearances. So I'm guessing they'll have dressed in like wolf pelt, that sort of thing. Maybe a severed head that were deboned and stuff that they just, draped over them or something.
Yeah.
Like a cape. And then the last one, Faolad. I'm guessing Faolad, however you say it, is another name for werewolves in Irish folklore, and they are sometimes depicted as protectors of children, going to great lengths to ensure their safety. So that's the main things on the Google search page.
Yeah, lycanthropy. But yeah, I would imagine, I would imagine if it's a spirit connected to anything, it's some sort of maybe ancestral spirit that's protecting the heads, particular, or the land. But
and potentially, if from what the things that I've just read are suggesting it might be that they're not actually spirits,
Yeah.
but things that are drawn to or stay around the stones to potentially protect them.
Yeah. Yeah. Back to the Hexham Heads.
Yes.
So, in October 2024, the BBC Archives announced that they had been able to restore an interview with Anne Ross on the Hexham Heads that had been broadcast on nationwide in 1976.
Wow.
Now, this interview itself is what seared this story into most people's minds back then.
Okay.
Because it features a clip of Oliver Reed from the Hammer horror film, The Curse of the Werewolf. And apparently, it scared a lot of people.
Right. Okay.
That people had nightmares about it.
Right.
And it's the one thing that most people remember when they think about Nationwide and the Hexham Heads.
Right.
However, obviously, that aside, when the heads came to light in the 70s, a gentleman by the name of Desmond Craigie reported that he had created the heads and he'd made them in 1956 with his daughter while he lived at the house.
Right.
Which was later occupied by the Robson family, along with a third head, which became damaged and he threw in the bin.
Okay.
Craigie worked for a company that dealt with concrete at the time, and he alleged that he made those heads out of concrete.
Right.
He then made some replicas to demonstrate how he did it. However, these replicas, this is a quote, were not satisfactorily similar to the original heads. So his alleged heads he made looked nothing like not near enough like the Hexham Heads to be conclusive that he made them.
Yeah.
Now, the original heads were analysed by a professor at the University of Newcastle, who concluded that the items had been moulded artificially rather than carved.
Right.
So that leads more towards Craigie than Celtic stonemasons making them. Would a stonemason
Isn't
carve
it
them?
like they've been cut and formed rather than...
Basically, what they're saying is it's been moulded. So basically, when the cement is wet, they've been moulded into the shape of the heads rather than somebody chiseling
Carving
out
a stone.
eyes and stuff on the actual pebble. You find a pebble, carve it up.
Yeah.
We could do that. No.
Well, a lot of forensic science, they're able to actually determine how something's been shaped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
such way that so
human using tools will leave telltale marks.
Yeah.
You'll see like when a butcher's cut up an animal, you can see the knife marks.
Yeah.
Whereas if a wolf's had a cow's leg, it'll leave teeth marks behind, which are telltale of that particular animal or that particular tool. After all that, the heads were given to another man, who then disappeared along with the heads, and there's no record of who they are.
And the heads, have they ever resurfaced?
Nope. The heads have never been seen since.
And this was when?
I'd imagine some point in the 70s.
Right, okay.
There's no dates of when that happened.
Right.
I would imagine it's probably after 1976 because they probably featured on the Nationwide. That's the story of the Hexham Heads. It's only a short one today. Any thoughts?
No. What are the ones I'm thinking of that are like actual people heads?
Shrunken heads. Yeah,
well, they had an actual name, didn't they?
Shrunken heads. Obviously, I'd want to say a few things. Obviously, about the story itself. Obviously, if they are man-made by some guy,
that guy and his concrete,
and his daughter, guy and his daughter, and some concrete, where did the wolf and goat come from?
Pure imagination.
Yep. And if two people are witnessing the same creature, do goats and wolves look alike?
Well, I mean, a wolf wouldn't have horns on its head.
No.
A goat potentially would.
Goat may or may not. If it's dark, is it just a burglar with a hoodie? I mean, did they have hoodies in the 1970s? They'll have had hoods, but not hoodies, but they'll have had hoods.
With hoods, you'd expect.
Maybe a bit, maybe
I don't know.
Maybe a flat cap, a balaclava. I'm trying to think logical of what could make a human look like a goat or wolf. I'm grasping at straws here. So yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. Now, if it is man-made and they're not supernatural in any way, Anne Ross has a haunted house, and she has a wolf creature running around it. And the Robson and Dodds are also haunted.
Or they all need to lay off the LSD?
It's probably not drugs.
Not the kids, that.
So anyway, that was the Hexham Heads. That's a short one this time. We are about a month behind anyway on episodes, so we're going to try to get another one recorded in the next couple of weeks, ready for the rest of the month. Try and get back on schedule of one a month. In regards of the Hexham Heads, there are other objects out there that are allegedly haunted. To name a few, but I'm not going into details with them because we can cover these in a future episode.
Exactly.
There's the Dybbuk box.
Okay.
That is a wine cabinet believed to house a malevolent spirit. There's the Anguished Man painting, which is unsettling artwork said to bring misfortune to its owners.
Right.
The Crying Boy painting.
Heard of this one, yeah?
Yeah, this is linked to mysterious house fires in the UK during the 1980s.
Have we touched on this painting?
I don't believe we have, no. I don't believe we have, no.
Oh.
There's the Hope Diamond.
Yep.
It's known for its beauty and its curse.
Yep.
It's associated with the untimely death and financial ruin of its owners.
Lovely.
And then there's a haunted mirror in the Myrtles plantation, which is in Louisiana.
Yeah.
It's a slave plantation.
As soon as you said plantation, I knew it were in America.
Yeah. We don't have all like that over here, I don't believe.
No.
That reports eerie reflections and handprints. We may probably touch on some of them in a future episode, but for now, we'll call that a day. So as always, I am Paul. I have been Paul and always will be Paul.
I'm staying Rob for now, but, if I get bored later, then I might call myself Jeff.
If I could be frank, I'd have to change my name. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. Remember, like and subscribe wherever you are. It helps out.
And for anyone who's actually listened, thank you for listening.
And thank you for making it this far into the episode. Well, I don't know how long it's going to be once I've edited it, but
yeah, we've been talking for like 4.5 hours now.
Yeah, none of it's paranormal related.
No.
I've had to cut a massive section of Robert having a rant about wheelie bins.
Yeah. Wheelie bins. I'm getting sick of them wheelie bins, though.
Yeah, they really annoy me. Wheelie, no, I can't say
They
it.
really get on my nerves.
And on that note, good night.
Bye.